your March 17th it is. And I'm not going to say, happy da 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 da. I think you already know what I'm on about there. Um, I just want to talk about this. There's a rage or a trend going on now. Um, it's a trend regarding TikTok, and it seems like this to me. Say, okay, so you're going to have some type of, you want to control the access of governmental phones, access to TikTok, right? Well, it kind of reminds me of the Huawei situation not too long ago. Of course, when that topic was hot on the 5G. You got me? Okay, so in that particular instance, it was kind of like the same thing. People were concerned with, hi, TDOA, how are you? People were concerned with, they didn't make it about the children, of course. But this class of GOV, they usually will throw kids in the middle, or they'll buffer, things with the kids. But this time around, they're back to they're saying they're going to do this ban on government phones or government communications because of, dare I say, issues or Beijing or to me it's no different than the concerns that they said allegedly that over 5G and Huawei once before. So I just find that it's all I just think that they're playing a game here, and I don't know if it's certain things that they need in place to pull off what they're really trying to achieve. I don't know. I'm just saying that, of course, allegedly, that they are doing this. But back to I did this inversion on the talk tick or whatever you want to call it. I will say when it comes to, I think there's a lot of subliminal issues when it comes to that particular app. I don't think I have that app on my phone. I don't want it. I never wanted it on there. And some friends of mine they shared the same kind of opinion, but not for the reasons that I did. They just thought that, that they didn't really like, they didn't like the way videos or different things appeared on TikTok. So they decided they don't really use it, or they don't have it downloaded on their particular devices. But I will say that I do believe there's been that the damage is already, rather than them banning it across the board, I think a lot of damage has already been done. And how timely of the GOV, of the American GOV, to start, they're concerned about global issues, okay, global issues, or global espionage or whatever. And this is my understanding, okay? So I always say, not saying that I'm trying to mock anything, but you need to do your own research. Do I need to say that in this day, time, and hour? But I will say it. But I'm saying that, unfortunately, a lot of things that happen in social media, eventually they do trickle down to the kids, and I have seen kids be influenced. I mean, whatever's trending on there, it seems to be that's what the kids will go. That's the strongest, some of the darkest things that I've seen them, in some of the darkest behaviors, or some of the darkest, responses or reactions have been from things that I think many of the youth, whether they're, preteen or the adolescents or whatnot, they're all doing things, they're all trying things that they see on this, on TikTok. But I find it interesting that the U.S. could not, the U.S. does not have, of course, they don't have the same approach, of course, to what we can see versus, what, they don't have the same approach, not yet. They don't have the same approach as maybe, China does, because I know When I've been to China in the past, now that's been within the last, let me see, the last time it's been within the last 5 years, last 5 years. And you can't just get on social media. Except, for example, you can't get on Facebook. You cannot get on Facebook in China. You cannot. Okay. There's all kinds of, it'll just circle you. It'll just buffer. You can plug it in, but you're not going anywhere. But I don't know if that they don't do anything like that for, they don't go through measures like that to even protect kids from, for what's there. And have they done an investigation? No. But I tell you, that particular app is one of the most popular apps that I know of. Okay. It's on the lips of most kids before school, during school. If the SUICIDE is on that app for the day, if something's trending on there, that's exactly what the kids will go for. Okay. And in fact, I've heard some outbursts that have come from that particular app relating to, the demise of kids. I don't know what's going on, but to me, that seems to be a trending whatever, some trending darkness that's there. But the kids are absolutely attracted to it. They're like it's like a moth, a moth to a flame, and it's not scared. These kids are not afraid. They're not afraid to be exposed to anything, whether it's dark, and it's going to be dark most of the time. It's going to be dark most of the time, but that's exactly what they're going to go to. And I don't know if it's something subliminal, that I would imagine so. Propaganda, what other techniques? I'm sure these people have, hey, uncool paranoia, how are you? I'm sure they've mined what goes into it. But I do think that app is really quite dangerous. And I'm just saying, no one's asking me, but I'm just telling you, but they've done curtail or to limit the amount of access that if they're going to let the kids have access to it, why don't they conduct a study on that and say, hey, we're going to let you use this app, but why don't they go on to it, and why don't they see what's on that app? Why don't they listen to the people that interact with kids to see what they're saying about what's on that app? But the SUICIDE is one of the most popular things on there. And we've had a lot, and the number in that particular, related to that particular subject, is also on the rise. See, we're not going to hear about this kinds of stuff from the GOV. We're not. But I'm telling you, my point is the damage is already done. The kids are attracted to it. They want to create videos of themselves. They are inspired by the darkest things there. Unfortunately, they look to that device for, solutions. It just doesn't matter. We're talking about adolescents. We're talking preteens that are using it. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if the preteens or the adolescents weren't if they weren't the biggest demographic that they have on a daily basis, because these kids are activating that particular device all day long during their school day. They are on it. They know what's trending. They know. I'm just saying, I can't believe it myself. Even I have a friend that, he has a daughter. She just went to high school last year, and that's all she ever talked about was that particular app. But the more, like, if you're around kids or if you're around other people with kids, you'll find out really quickly. They'll tell you, oh, I just saw something like this on TikTok. And, next thing you know, what's everybody saying? Or What is every and then they've become more manipulative. I think because I think this, and who else teaches manipulation? I'm just saying, who taught these kids to be, these kids don't have an innate, most of them don't have some type of innate ability or innate whatever, dare I say, ability. They don't have a proclivity to be just manipulative like what I've seen or from what I've heard. So I'm just saying, I don't know what your guys' experience is, but of course, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments section about tell us what your experiences are. And they're going to be dark and they're going to be light. But I will tell you that darkness that I'm describing, that SUICIDE, has come from that particular app. In fact, it's one of the that's a go-to manipulation tool for some of these adolescents and teens. And they're using it to control their parents. They're using it to control, they're using it, they're going to. But you notice there's no ban on it. There's no filter, there's no fire, there's none of that. But they want you to believe that this is all about espionage. But I'm telling you, this world has changed. The people have changed. I think this is more of a spiritual world that we're dealing with. And the things that we're seeing coming out of these kids, the spirit that we see in these kids, folks, this ain't your elementary or your middle school or your junior high. I'm just putting it out there. Let me read some comments here. Glad you guys could come in. Let's see. Let's see. The Freedom's March and Uncool are here. So Uncool says the damage is most certainly already done. She says, I have never used the app. However, my phone keeps trying to download it without permission. Yes, I fought that for a long time. And unfortunately, Uncool, I ended up giving in. I gave in on some level because as many other, some content creators have, content over there, or either their other place will spit you out, or will try to spit you out over there just to get access to something. I'm just thinking, wow, my gosh, can you just put it up here? I mean, YouTube has shorts as well. So, that whole shorts feature is on, the shorts feature is also now on YouTube. It's on YouTube. So why did, I'm not gonna say why did everybody or anybody go over to YouTube? Because they wanted their content there because of what I was saying, the popularity of it. I don't know. Maybe they've surpassed YT. They very well could have. I know that YT's new leadership or whatnot, I wouldn't be surprised if some of YT's influence or some of their, that they've kind of gone down in their, dare I say, in their viewerships, or maybe just they're not doing as much as they were before for, a multitude of reasons. But I do think that social media, especially this TikTok, I do think that it is going to be, it's going to finish off the job, okay, for generations to come. It really will. If it sticks around. Because I'm surprised some of these Congress people haven't started, trying to use it. Surprised they didn't use it to try to justify, but they're saying it, to me here again, this feels more like Huawei, okay? Where, of course, they didn't want trade secrets and all these things being shared. They didn't want links. And, of course, they doubted, the Huawei as to who they were beholden to or who runs them. Are they state or whatever? But to me, TikTok should have been handled the same way. If you're worried about that 5G, like that, then why wasn't that same approach? Why wasn't that same concern? Why didn't they handle this the same way? Because kids are valuable too. Human life and human beings are still valuable. Okay, it's like We are. I mean, hang on a second. Look, Derek C. Williams is here. Let's see. Uncool says, yeah, that's true. Creators have moved over to it. I just say screw their content. At that point, PooTube has more than enough info that I'm interested in. I also don't support the content shrinking. Absolutely. Derek C. Williams says, in work mode, but I cashed out of my retirement account today. Keep your money in hand. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Derek C. Williams, it's probably time to have a conversation. That is a big one. What is it? There's something I want to get into about the digital system rolling out, and I think it's going to be, it could be very well. It could be sooner than they purport. So I don't know, but see, as these banking systems become more unstable, the other sectors will as well, whether it's real estate. Yeah, like if you're trying to sell property or whatnot, I recommend, you need to speed that thing up, because all of it it's on it's a consolidation. It's on the verge of being swiped up or like not having value at all. Derek C. Williams says, a quick pop in and listening to you live on there. Yes, gotcha. And of course, I tried to keep long form content alive on my channel, at least. Yes. Marty Lauderdale, how are you? It's good to see you. And Derek C. Williams says, high-tech slavery is central bank digital. Yes, I see what you mean. But you know what? Who is it? Did I hear it out of Tucker Carlson or somebody was saying pretty soon you're going to need to get your CBDC food stamp. You're going to have some directives on that coming out. I'm telling you. But the same people, and see, I'm about to go into a rant right now, and I'm trying not to, but I might let it go. I might just let it fly. Because when you try to talk to people, you know what they've done? They've started whispering the name Trump. They've started talking about him again. So, once they mention his name, it all goes down. You're done. You're kind of done anyway when you're talking to some of these people that I'm beginning to call them. These people are reprobates. They're already tots. I'm starting to call them over there. TOTs. We got TOTs everywhere. Them over there. You may as well not waste your breath on the tots, because they're not listening to you. Okay? They're not listening to you. But yeah, I've tried to tell my family members, or I don't know if it's not a matter of me trying to tell them, but I'm just thinking, okay, at some point, can one person be responsible for things that have been kind of plotted and planned, like even since you were born? Just think about what I'm just saying, I'm not asking you to believe anything. I'm just saying, just think about what you're saying. You have nothing, you have no other perspectives. You get up every morning, you drink your little coffee, and then you watch, I just want to go watch the TV. I saw it on the news. It must not be real unless it was on the news. There are people, you have a populace that's still like that, and much of it they're seniors. The seniors are like that. Okay, you have a lot of seniors that have this routine, or dare I say, this is a ritual. They go through their bewitchable, the bewitchable. Let's go. Okay, I'm wordsmithing today. I didn't say I was good at it. The bewitchable. That's what we're gonna call it. This is gonna be the bewitchable with Black Spring with Autumn. But the bewitchables of the day are for the bewitched. Okay, so if I say something, you're going to call me crazy. You're going to call me that CT, or, well, welcome to the CT theater for those of you who are hanging out in the background, because I know there are some flying monkeys hanging around in the background, not saying anything, but that's cool. They've been doing that. They're not going to change. But I'm just saying, the bewitchables that people take part in, they're not going to leave those bewitchables behind. They're not. So guess what? You might have to leave them behind, because I think, as they say, the SHIT is going to get real. And I believe, I've been saying this for a couple of summers, but I just think every summer we're a little bit closer to that inconvenience, to that uncomfortableness. So what can you do? Well, we can do what we always do, what we've always, we've always advocated for on this channel and, on other channels. We're just going to try to get ourselves prepared. And for everything that we can't cover, that's when you have to have, that's when you have to have, I'm not telling you what kind of faith, but you got to have something, okay? And I say even throughout the day, you got to sometimes you need to recharge, you need to reboot, because you're dealing with a lot of, like I said, people have changed, okay? They have changed, and the way they deal with you, it's not the same. I said this the other night. I started out and I was buffering like crazy, and I was just saying, does anybody not feel that there's like some type of tension, or like just tension, or just like we're just wait, like just really, but things are, it's foreboding. It feels like something is going to give. Okay. And I was thinking about this whole, even with the little bank drip, 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 drip failures or closures, was that pop? Was that the sound of the pop? Or is it a drip? Is it a long, or is it going to be a long, slow, like torturous, not going to be really a pop, but more like a, like a leak, which is much more torturous, if you leak something out, if you're leaking energy or leaking valuable, your makeup. So I'm just saying that things have just gotten so crazy. I think the youth have been compromised. Not everybody, not saying everybody's is, but I'm just saying if you've turned your kid over to the dare I say to the system, whether that means you've gotten them an iPad, an eye this, an eye something, it's, I'm gonna tell you, it's hard to get them back. And I'm not even sure you can get them back, because they're going to TikTok. They're going to TikTok, and TikTok is their fountain now. And the further you try to get them away from the fountain, the weaker they are. If they're not held, if there's nothing else, if there's no other glue to hold them together, if they don't have any other, if there's no other values or faith to hold them together, which I can tell you exactly what mine is, but I can tell you what I mean by that. But what I'm saying, if there's nothing else to hold them together, then they'll be, because to me, dare I say, the TikTok is their fountain of youth, is what I mean. And I don't mean that let me make it I'm going to try, metaphorically speaking, if I may, let me make that up. Let me make it an extended metaphor. Let's see. Derek C. Williams is here. The prolific Derek C. Williams. Derek C. Williams, I just want you to know that I support you. And I just want you to know that. Just stay in there, okay? Like, here, I'm always going to shout you out on this channel. If it's too much, you can always say, hey, Black Spring, I need you to, I need you to lay low. I need you to tone it down. But I'm always going to be supportive of you on this channel, and I'm going to support your content. These people on YT, they started trying to come after me the other day on my little trailer that I've been playing for years now. But I'm saying, they're going to try. They're going to do what they do. But I'm saying I support you on this channel, and you're welcome to come on anytime. In fact, I would love to have you come on. Yeah, I'd love to have you come on. In fact, I'm going to do something like a symbolism kind of a show soon. Yeah. And I'm telling you, the stuff that let me tell you guys, I found the most symbolism lives between these sports. March Madness, I'm telling you, that is where you will see some of the biggest examples of symbolism, okay? Is what I'm going to tell you. That's my experience, okay? But yeah, but it's dripping. It's dripping. And that's what I want. That's going to be my next stream. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to show you some very specific things. Of course, they might try to ding me for it, but that doesn't bother. That's not going to bother me. Okay, let me read your comments here. Get back up here. Derek C. Williams says, I buy silver, some on the way today, buying a bit more store. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about in the prep department. you know, getting your medals together, you know, getting your storables together, you know, getting your, you know, get your house in order, so to speak. He says, but we're, yeah. So there, yeah, the college degrees. Hey, that'll get you every time, right? Uncool says, I believe the so-called push to ban TikTok is all smoke and mirrors. They knew what that was. Absolutely. To me, it's all a part of an agenda to me. And the kids are paying for it. And like I said, if you turn your kid over to, I'm going to say it, if you turn your kids over to the beast, there, I said it and I mean it. If you turn your kids over to the beast in one way or another, good luck trying to get them back. Now, I don't even say good luck. That's going to be a spiritual bout you're going to have. Okay? It really is. And Derek says, but are lost intellectually, they hold on to Blitzer as an authority source. Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm not affirming the IDIOTS, but I'm affirming the authority sources on the CNN folks. Oh, I'll make sure I take down this name. Thank you so much for sharing that, Edward Dowd. Well, and that's another thing I'm going to be working on that as well, because I'm trying to get the studio up and going. And it's going to be a stationary studio. I'll probably do some lights or whatever. But it'll be stationary where I won't have to shut it up, shut it down. And I want to do less of the green screens. I mean, we've had enough illusions, right? I mean, I think our world is full of illusions and masters of masters of solution of illusions. Masters of illusions are in control anyway. So I don't know if I need to put myself on the moon to get you guys to, get you in the breaking news mode. He says ex-Google executive Tristan Harris is on YT, and he tells you that, yes, they meant to addict everyone to their phone. Well, they did. They've done it. Okay, and let's see what else we have. He says, I just speak what I believe is relative and to step aside for other content creators. I am a Mississippian that just reads and researches a lot. Well, Derek, those are vital pieces. I'm telling you, that's the holy guts of the gang. And that's going to separate you every single time. Anthony Van Sant, how are you? He says, crazy joint afternoon. How are you? Proverb Nation, how are you? Thanks for coming in. Let's see. Melinda's here. Ed Hinn says the question is blank. What of moisture? Right. And but yeah, what I'm saying is, thank you guys so much for coming in. I guess they opened the gates and let my people in. Let my people in. Unchain my people. Unchain the locks. On people having access to this channel. Unchain that. That's the most people I've seen in this chat. But yeah, what I'm saying is, TikTok, I think, is really, yeah, it is done. It is done. It's only going to get creepier from there. And yeah, unfortunately, these kids, it will be the demise for many kids. It's like, even if it's psychologically, it will be emotionally, psychologically, the damage will be there. So yeah, here again, I decided to put my face on the camera. Not like I normally do, but like it's, decided to come in. It's on the 17th of March. So out of curiosity, the other day, I heard this thing about some interesting things about St. Patrick that you didn't know about. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Something, you mean does it start with a P and end with an N? Just saying. I really appreciate it. Ed hints it's a joke because lol. I appreciate it. I need a joke. But I was just saying, it's like now they're starting to blend. They use some of the same, smoke and mirrors. Shout out to Uncool to get people off to keep people off the trail. To me, this is another form. This is another espionage, trick or whatever. But unfortunately, I think damage is already done. It's done. The government. Do I think they're afraid of the big bag TikTok? No, I'm not. But should the parents be concerned about the big bad TikTok? Yeah, but yesterday, yesteryear is when I think they should have been concerned about that, because it's just as addicting as it's just as addicting as the device itself. Like, I'm still amazed at the amount of people that have cell phones, that give their kids cell phones. But yeah, like for instance, the argument to have cell phones all goes back to an active hooter, right? That's what the argument is. But here's the thing. If that's one of the reasons, okay, then you still cannot quite get your kid released from that particular institution in the event something does kick off. It's just going to be like a whole bunch of, SOS signals going off, but it's not going to they can't rescue their kids. They wouldn't be allowed on the premises if something kicked off. They just know what's going on play by play, or it would just be another element that they could record the trauma. The trauma the trauma of it will be well documented, but is it a situation where mom and dad are going to be able to actually save the kids from a burning something? No, because the responsibility at that point will be between the administration at that particular school and the authorities. So no, you're still under control. You're still controlled. So that's what, and see, that kind of leads me to another thing about, what is it, the 15-minute cities, the smart cities, the freedom cities. You're always going to be under the umbrella of somebody else's, rules, or somebody else's, governance. You're always going to be governed by something. So I don't think that a device is going to, it's going to do very little to it. The chances of somebody having something, even when people have been on, in the air, like in airspace, there's only so much that device does. It doesn't allow people to come in and rescue them. It wouldn't. It just wouldn't. It's still going to be a matter of, you'll get there at the scene when the actual disaster is already over, unfortunately. But they've controlled a lot of people by fear. They really have. So hope you guys are doing well out there. And it's nice that you guys decided to help me burn 33 minutes and 26 seconds here talking about TikTok, and I'm drawing it down to Huawei fears, or, everybody's, that we did do a piece on that quite some time ago on the 5G and Huawei. We did do a piece on that, but to me, this is no different. Like, there's no, they didn't volley that or ping pong it back and forth about what the damage or what the risk were for kids having access to something that was, basically foreign management on communication, on telecom or whatever. Anthony Van Zant, let's see. Anthony says, hey, if they're pushing the party, then it's no good. There's nothing decentralized about the internet, arbitrary, centralized, electronic, totalitarian governance in ideological technocracy 101. Thank you for that, Anthony Van Zant. I couldn't have done it better myself. Thank you for that. So yeah, it's a web, right? It was all, to me, that's absolutely what it is. It's globalization, or There should be a word for bringing kids to closer to demise on a global scale. Like, I don't even know if the Chinese, if they're, what age do they have access to it? I don't know. Just curious, just curious. As I know for a fact, you cannot get on mainland. You cannot get on social media in China. You cannot. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Now, if you go over to Hong Kong, on the other hand, now you go from Hong Kong, you go to Hong Kong, you can. I know that for a fact. At least it hadn't changed. Now, I'm not sure what's going on. Let me take that back, because some things were going on not too long ago. But I know at least back in 18, at least back in like 17, 18, you could get on, and in Hong Kong you could get on. Of course, you had no issues getting on there, but who knows. But once again, I appreciate you guys so much for coming on, and I want to do something on symbolism. It's going to be the next live stream. So maybe you guys will catch me on that. I'll have some extra time. So if you guys want to send me any, shout out to Anarchy Television, because Anarchy has sent me some things in the past, and I get behind, but feel free to send me anything you want on blackspringwithautumn@gmail.com. Let's see who else is coming. I just want to say hi to everybody one last time, and then I'm going to get out of here. All right, Freedom's March was the first one in, and then Uncool Paranoia. Yeah, I don't know. Does anybody have any idea on parsnips? I'm looking at do I have any farmers in here? Anybody with a green thumb? The green thumb person that comes in here. For parsnips, what do I need for parsnips? Okay, root. I adore root vegetables, but in terms of actually trying to get them, kick them off, grow those, I'd like some recommendations on those. Whether it's raised beds, or whether it's raised beds, or whether it's from the ground. All right, guys. So let me get back to what I was saying I was going to do. So that's what I'm talking about. We needed the 411 on sustainables. Okay, let's see. Freedom's March. Thank you so much. I enjoyed your stream earlier, Freedom's March. And Derek C. Williams, please come out. Everybody, if you don't know who Derek C. Williams is, please get over to his channel. Thank you so much, Derek, for all that you do. And please continue to keep doing that. Ed Hen, thank you for coming in. Of course, Derek C. Williams and Melinda. And I saw Marty Lauderdale earlier. Thank you so much. We had up to 10, count them, 10 people in Black Spring land. We haven't had that in a long time. So I really appreciate you guys, and hopefully you can hang on for more fun. Hopefully you will. So I will see you guys later. So I'm not sure, maybe it'll be, who knows? I'm not sure if it'll be tonight. If it is, I'll try to let you know. But I'm just amazed at these commercials that are coming out. I don't know. They try to, on the sly, right? They've got to bring them out. Try to bring them out on the sly. But all right, guys, I will look forward to seeing you guys later, and have a great start or great beginning to your weekend / Friday/weekend. I don't know. Maybe I'll meet you guys on some gardening or something. I don't know. We'll see ya. Have a great rest of the day. See ya, Anthony Van Zant. Thank you so much for coming in. Bye for now.